Have you ever heard people who say that it takes a lot of content in order to get results? Well, today I have Kim Wolfe here with me, and she had an experience where one piece of content has earned her thousands of dollars. And so we wanted to talk about what it takes to make really valuable content and not just use jargon valuable content. So I know you've heard people say that you have to create value, you have to create value, but what if you could calculate that one piece of content really produce thousands for you? So in this interview, we'll be talking about methods that you can use to create content that earns thousands of dollars per piece of content. So I think this will be a really interesting conversation, and Kim is here to share whatever knowledge she has about how we can each create content that produces thousands for us. So first, I want to start by introducing you to Kim Wolfe, and she has the site Affiliate Marketing Informant, and I want her to tell us a little bit about her background. So where are you located, Kim?
Hey, Tiffany. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me on this call. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So it looks like it's nice and sunny there.
actually, it's not. It's been raining for like 5 days now. It's pretty gloomy. I think everybody in Atlanta is ready for the sun to come out. So next few days, um, just seems to be a rainy period. And then 2 weeks ago, we had snow on a Saturday. So the weather's crazy here in
Wow.
Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you have a good sunny spot right there.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm around a lot of windows, which at least show, help with the natural light.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing online business?
So I found Wealthy Affiliate, which is how you and I got connected. Great community there. I found that about 2 years ago in late of 2017. And then I started Affiliate Marketing Informant in about mid 2018. But my for 20 years now. And when I say connected, I've been in it. There's three different components to marketing. There's the design component, which is what I started out with. That's the content that
Okay.
we create, the images, the copyright software. If you think of like Wealthy Affiliate, hosting, website tools, the execution of the marketing, and then of who I'm going to target, what am I going to do to get them hooked, what am I going to do to get them to buy my product. And so my background has been in the design and the function areas of marketing, but I haven't had a lot of experience in the strategic side of marketing. And so that's how I ended up going down this path, is that I wanted a way to learn how to do the strategy piece. How do you make someone click on your page? How do you make someone click on your post? How do you make them actually buy it and click through, whatever funnel you have? And that was all very new to me 2 years ago. And I was just thinking, well, I've been in this industry for a long time. It's not going anywhere. Why don't I have any experience in strategy and so marketing?
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So, did you start any other business ventures before you started Affiliate Marketing Informant?
That is actually a good question. And yes, I have dabbled websites for companies. I did that in a job for a little while for a small marketing agency. I learned WordPress about 7 or 8 years ago, and we ended up just building a bunch of websites. Now the websites were for businesses like brick and mortar businesses, companies. And so it was just like having real estate on the web. You needed to have a presence. So I didn't do a lot of driving the traffic to it besides SEO and search engines. But that's how I sort of got into the service model. And I would do it on the side, freelance, build websites for people. That was one business model. Another business model I've actually done is at one point for about 2 or 3 years, I ended up creating artwork. So I come from a design background. My
Right.
college degree is actually in design, graphic design. Back in the day where it was like 20 years ago, you were still having to create publications on layers of clear materials, film. Basically, it was right on the cusp before the digital age where everything is done digitally now. But my projects in school were having to layer images and copy to get this perfect one page. It took you like 5 hours to get it perfect, and that was one page of a magazine. You think of 20 pages, like it took forever. And
Yeah.
so I'm just amazed that like that was just 20 years ago. That wasn't a long time ago. um and but now you look at it like who knows if that is process anymore. I only know it because I had to get a grade for it, right? Like I had to do
Right.
it to get a grade. So because I come from a design background, I created art for a couple years, and it was fun. It just wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't uh, business profitable. You know, if you think about
Yeah.
artwork, you spend hours and hours, and you go to an art show, and you might sell one piece, and you're there the entire weekend,
Yeah.
and you might sell one piece for a couple $100. It's just like, okay, this is not sustainable, and if I really want to do business, this is a hobby for me. So that's what sort of. So I've always been sort of adventurous and trying different things out. But the services model and the sort of the product model, you know, they take a lot of work and they take a lot of persistence. And so I was looking for easier ways, and that's what led me on to online marketing.
Okay. That's very cool. So, so you started affiliate marketing in Foreman about 2 years ago. And
Mhm.
did you start out with a job, or did you have a family, or did you start out with just being able to focus on that all day, or how did you do it?
So actually, I started out with a full-time job, and amazingly so, I still have that full-time job. It's definitely a job that gives me some flexibility, but it's also a job that owns my time
Uh-huh.
24/7 because of the flexibility. So, you know, in other words, a month ago we had our family, which was, you know, it's about a 5 hour trek to go see my family. We drove back on the Monday on the holiday. I ended up having my spouse drive so I could work in the car because I had my boss barking down my neck, um, for a project for something that was due, and it was a hot thing. He needed it right away. So I was like, "You're driving, I'm working." And it was a great way to do the 5 hour ride. It went by really quick. For someone else, they always own my time. And I was like, it would be nice to be able to have a holiday off and not have to worry about it and say, I'll deal with it Tuesday. But I couldn't in that sense. So I still do that. I have a family. So I've been doing this on the side, so to speak, with the hope that one day I can get it off the ground and eventually work for myself. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have so when you say you have a family, you're married and you have how many kids?
I have no kids. For two-legged kids. The way I give back to this world is I adopt rescues animals. So I have
Okay.
3 cats and 1 dog. Recently we had 2 dogs, and one had hit 13 and a half years old, almost 14. So he passed. So now we're down to 4, but that's so you know that's my family. It's taking care of the dogs and the animals, and the 4 of them. That's a lot. And the dog has health issues, so I can kind of relate with your experiences in your life, Tiffany. Even though it's not a two-legged kid, it's like we're always at the doctor. Um, Thanksgiving, we had a major health scare with the dog, and we didn't think he was going to make it. And you know, $1,000 later, we finally got him situated. So it's just like, you know, life was definitely happening. So just because I don't have two-legged kids, I have the animals, and they definitely require my time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had dogs before, And I tried to have 2 dogs when my son was a newborn, and at the time I was a single mom. Oh
Oh.
man, I don't know what I was thinking.
Right.
but, but that's the last time I had. I had 2 puppies. They were like twins, and they were these little chihuahuas, and then
Oh.
I had a newborn. So it was like having triplets. I said, I don't know what I was thinking, but I can't handle all three. So
Yeah, that's a
that's
lot.
so yeah, it was a lot. And I was active duty in the military at the time. So it was like
Wow.
I don't know what I was thinking. Coming home at lunch, trying to take care of the dogs, trying to take care of the kid.
Yeah, and
So
then when the time to take care of you, right? Like after all
right,
that, you're just tired and you're ready to go to bed.
right. Yeah, so I didn't hold out for that long. So, one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially going online, they experience issues with like confidence or not having enough support and things like that. And so, did you have that experience? Because I know that a lot of us don't know anybody who started an online business before, so it's difficult to figure out if you're doing the right thing, and then you end up not confident about what you're doing. Did you have those experiences, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, yes, and yes is my answer. And actually, I still have those experiences, even though I've had some success. I still struggle with that daily. So due to the fact that women, I think, struggle with confidence more so. We're just in a world where everything, originally was men dominated. Nothing against them, but it just kind of shows the time is that it's taken us women longer to say, you know what, I can do this. I can be a single mom, do the military, and raise 2 dogs. I can do this. It may be hard. I struggled with that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I absolutely struggle with that, and I still struggle with that. What I've noticed and what I've learned is that the best way to learn if something works is to just do it. And
Right.
so what's interesting about online marketing is, especially if you do the route that you and I have been doing, which is building authority websites, you don't see immediate return.
Right.
You do 20 posts, 30 posts, you do 100 posts, you still may not see any return. And so that's what's kind of frustrating about it. And you're like, is it working? And so it's like a
Right.
delayed reaction. And so that's what happened with my one post. It was one of my very first posts that I created. And so I have all these other posts on top of it. And what I noticed and learned from it is that it took that time, but it's a really solid post and it's converting. Now I have all this other content on top of it, additional posts and different content types that I use. That's the one that's working. And so when it started getting some dollar signs on it, I'm like, oh, okay, so now I know that is working and my confidence is there, opposed to like simple how-to posts. They bring in traffic, but they don't convert. Now, some of that is my fault, and I'm learning that too. And so if you listen to all of these people you've interviewed, Tiffany, they all say it's like speed to market. You need to do something to learn. Like you can sit there and theorize about it all the time, but when you start doing something, you will eventually get some results that you can learn from, whether it's
Right.
$0 or whether it's $1,000+. And so
Right.
that's what happened to me. And so, but once that happened, you're like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna put all my money on that. Like
Right.
that's my game plan and giving me a little bit more confidence. The reality is that when I talk to my spouse about this, they don't understand. Like they don't understand why you're blogging at midnight and trying to do this around a family and a career. And I'm like, you know what? It is, the money is there. I just haven't cracked the code. And you hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about that too. It's like you just keep
Right.
at it until you just crack the code. You will eventually crack it. So, you know what I mean? So
Right.
you hear that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that was a really good answer. Um, so it's like you made me forget my questions. So
Sorry.
so anyway, when you found this post. You said that just being in action is what caused you to really start to have things to hypothesize with. And I've had the same experience where, like, when you start out, it's like a fog. It's like you know kind of what you should be doing in theory, but in action you haven't done it yet. So it's like you believe and you have hope, but you don't really know if it's going to work for you. um, so I agree that once you have more action behind you and you are producing results, then that does help to build your confidence. But I can say that even when I am pushing myself even more into new territories, then those confidence issues come up again. So it's like you might start out like you started out blogging and writing articles, and me, I started out the same way, and then I decided to get in the video, and when I started to get in the video, it's like, oh man, now the camera, now a whole new set of skills. Like now you have to learn how to engage people on the camera, and then you have all of these hiccups along the way, maybe sound quality or internet connection, like things like we
Right.
were talking about today. And then it's like, will this work? So I think the confidence issues don't necessarily go
Right.
away, but you still have to push past that. And I think it's Christy, right? I think I heard her say that fear is it's like the check engine light, for something that you still should be doing it. It doesn't mean that you should stop because you have a little fear, but you still should push past it. So that's really cool that that was your experience. And so in terms of support, how did you find people who could give you good feedback or people who could support you along the way and who didn't think you were crazy to be starting an online business? And you know, because it seems kind of like gambling in the beginning because you're putting your hope into something that you haven't necessarily seen, like in your with your own two eyes before, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's hard, right? Because we need, as humans, we need sort of the constellation look at taking a venture like a online business. The reality is we have to work for the things that we want. And so it's like, do you want to always work for other businesses that supply you the needs you have, which is like food, clothing, house? If you think about all those things you buy from other people who have created a business to give you things you need.
Right.
Or do you want to have life work for you and create your own sort of business and need for something, someone, and have them buy for you? And so I think if you look at it that way, it makes it easier to say, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to give it a try and I'm going to keep at it, because the reality is to me, not necessarily. I think they're just trying. So why can't I do that? And so that's been my mindset. And I have to be honest, like, Wealthy Affiliate has been amazing because it gives you that community, that support. Like you and I can talk and you get me, but I can't talk to my spouse about this. They don't understand about, 5,000 words versus 10,000 words, and then headlines catchy versus not, and some get traction and some don't. They're just like, what are you talking about? And so
Right.
you and I were like, just like, hey, so it's definitely hard. So I would recommend that, you find, if you're anyone who's looking for training, look for the community support. And in most cases, training come with like a Facebook group, which is good. But I like the fact that Wealthy Affiliate has community built into the same platform. So I can go in there and I can reach out to you, Tiffany. I can reach out to other people as well. I can post a question and be like, hey, I'm running into this issue. What what advice do you have? Has anybody faced the problem? And that happens every day. So
Right.
as I've gone on in the 2 years, I found that there are more people like us, and that kind of connects you to it. But I never would have known that if I had just given up and said, those people don't exist. I was determined. And so you have to, the reality is with me and my background, I know marketing works. I work for companies that sell software to companies that pay thousands and thousands of dollars a month and a year of time. And I'm just like, well, if they're tapping into it, why can't I? And so that was sort of my motivator. So I started looking at the numbers. The numbers are out there and they're huge when you're in online marketing. They're huge. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. And if I could just get a little piece of that pie, it would be life changing for me and my family and my animals and everything. So that's also a motivator. That's my carrot. Is like, I'm in the industry. Why am I always working for someone else when I could just tap into that and do it for myself?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like how I got into marketing was I grew up in performing arts schools. So I was always creative and really enjoyed that. But once I got older, and my parents are real estate investors. So that was one thing too, working in their real estate investing company. So I got to see that in order to rent a house or in order to sell a house, you have to put flyers out. You have to put something in the
Yeah.
paper. You have to let people know, and that is marketing. And my mom always knew that I was good at the visual art stuff. So then they would connect me with like, well, Tiffany, can you make the flyer? Can you, I know you're good at that. And then as I got older, even when I was in the military, I was drawn more towards like if I had to do a presentation or something like that, then I wanted to beautify the presentation. And,
Mm-hmm.
I was always into visual art. So, and writing as well. I always was into that. So, affiliate marketing, digital media, digital marketing, all of that stuff just like fit with what I was interested in already and with the skills that I had built over time. But I did not know search engine optimization and algorithms and market research and um, like all the tools you can use to do market research and understand the supply and demand and trying to identify what skills people actually wanted to pay for. And I mean, a lot of it just took self-actualization and testing. But it was to my benefit that
Yes.
I built more than one
Yes.
business before getting into affiliate marketing, because then I kind of was I don't know, able to plug in that, oh, okay, like for our construction business, we knew that for that one I actually went door to door to sell. But I knew that in order to get people to buy the construction services or to get us to paint a room or get us to put up a new fence or whatever the case is, I have to talk to people. And so with affiliate marketing, it's the same way. It's just we're using video, we're using blogging, we're using um, social media and these platforms in order to build the relationships, which is quite different. Like, was that different for you?
So I started out with, creative, so designing the magazines and eventually designing websites. I have, I was fortunate. I had a grandmother who was in accounting, and I remember being about like maybe 10 or 12 Mac, Macintosh computers when they were this little cube, and she had a PC and a Mac on her desk. She had two. And this was back in the day where they had floppy disks. That's how they ran programs. So the IBM computer had two floppies, one for the software and one time. And I just remember being so fascinated with two computers. They operated differently. I would just go to one and I would go to the other. So fortunately for me, I was introduced to technology and the way technology works at a very young age. And so I've
Yeah.
always appreciated it in my career, even though we've moved from the film age to now we're completely digital. And digital started out really big, and now it's getting small size. It's in the credit card and it holds all your credit information, and you just tap a device and it spits
Yeah.
out your bill. Like the technology is just, I'm mind blown. But I've always been intrigued by it, and so I embrace it. Like, technology is not going anywhere. We love it, whether we like it to admit that or not.
Yeah.
We're so addicted to it. iPhones, computers, video technology. You and I are connecting here. We're at different parts of the United States. We've never met each other, but here we are having a conversation and doing this interview and talking to your video following. How else would you be able to do that? And
Right.
so look at it that way. I think it's amazing. And so I say embrace the technology. And I think that's a fear for a lot of people. It's like, I'm not technical, this is so overwhelming. And I see that a lot with, especially in the wealthy affiliate community. It's like, this is over my head, like SEO and search engine optimization, the same thing, but some people don't get that. But then talking about the different steps you have to do to a post to get it optimized. And it's just a little overwhelming. And I hear that, I see that in sort of communities. The reality is embrace the technology. You're in it, you live it. It doesn't. One tip you'll hear from many, including myself, is you don't need to do everything in one day. Don't even attempt that. Find good training. That's what I did, and that's how I know what I know today. As far as how I got my success for this one blog post, I did a review post, and I wasn't doing review posts before. So the tip is that the training is like, do review posts. Those work. I was like, no, I'll just do how-to and informational content. No, it's the review post that's actually making the money. And I
Hmm.
was like, well, here I go trying to invent my own wheel when the training is telling me what to do, and I did it and it worked. And I'm like, I should have listened to the training. And the thing that, like, I'm doing a bunch of review posts that seems to be working. And so I was like, well, crap, I'm going to do that now. And so I think willing to work at it, willing to try, find good training, find good community support, and then embrace the technology and just go for it. Like, life is what you make of it, right? Like, we all have lives here. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. You have tragic deaths that happen all the time. You lose family members, whether it's age or some sort of illness. Like, it happens. And so I just, unfortunately, I've had that in my life, and that just makes me, if I wake up tomorrow, make it count. If I was to die tomorrow, I would like to be able to look back on my life and say, I did everything I needed to do, wanted to do. I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. And in my honest opinion, I don't think I could say that right now. I want more out of life. I would prefer not to be working for a company. I prefer to be right on my personal business after a day job. I work on the weekend. So it's funny that you bring up my website name. If I could go back, I chose affiliate marketing format. The reason I created that is because I was learning, right? I was learning about affiliate marketing. And the reason it hooked me is because I tried to sell my line guy this whole beautiful design digital marketing package. I was going to do his website. I was going to help him grow his business. I was going to design magnets for his car. Like, I was going to really help him amplify his business. He
Hmm.
flaked out. He was, oh yeah. And then he just totally flaked out, ended up just stopped doing my lawn completely. I had to find an alternative. With that, I was like, I have to rely on people in order to learn how to really do this stuff. And I was like, there's got to be a better option. So I just started searching online. And that's when I found out affiliate marketing. I don't have to make it, I don't have to store it, I don't have to do customer service on it. I can just literally tell you, Tiffany, about this great product over here. You buy it and I get a percent of the sale. I was like, sold. I'm going to do that because I can learn how to do the marketing strategic side, which was always my goal, and not have to worry about artwork and lugging it around or, giving Amazon 50% of my basically product revenue just to have them store it and ship it for me, right? The drop shipping
Yeah.
model. That's what attracted me to affiliate marketing, is just the ease of being able to tap into money online without owning anything. There were very low barriers. And so I think affiliate, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
affiliate marketing is great. You can branch off into everything else. The craze today is creating your own digital products. A lot
Hmm.
of people say, well, I don't know what to sell. don't worry about that. Learn the marketing piece, like you say, find some products that you believe in that are owned by somebody else, figure out how to get them sold. And then you'll grow from there. You'll learn things, and then you'll eventually learn from your own knowledge. So back to the affiliate marketing informant, I created it to basically capture my journey of learning affiliate marketing. And so that's where a lot of my content came from, is like, I learned about this, or I tried this product. This is what I thought about it. And, but if I could change it, if I could go back, I would probably do something like midnightaffiliate.com, because that's what I'm doing. Like, that's sort of, I'm more of a midnight affiliate because I'm working at night and I'm working on it weekends around my, life, trying to try to sort of crack the code with affiliate marketing and see how far I can take it.
Yeah. So, so business for you, learning how to build relationships, learning how SEO worked and how you use it to attract customers, did that come easy for you?
I would say yes, just because I was exposed to websites and search engine, about 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and I started doing that. So that was easier for sure, but it's the marketing piece is still hard for me. So, it's not, as you and I both know, it's not just as easy as creating one piece of content, putting on a website and expecting it to be optimizing it for search engines, and then expecting it to be in the #1 spot on page 1 of Google. It doesn't really happen. You and I both know that. There are a lot of like layers of factors that help get you to page 1. And then, even if you're on page 1, if you don't have a catchy title, they may not even click on it. And then Google sees that and they're going to push you down from page 1, 2, 3, page 4, page 5. So you and I both know it's a lot more complicated than that. And there's these little variables that sort of add up to, okay, this is the winning model. And
Right.
I stumbled upon it with the post, like I didn't know what I was doing. But it turns out I have a catchy title. It's a product review for a product that I purchased. It's actually a mid-ticket item, so that's something to consider, meaning that, with some services that you and I know about, a $47 a month gives you about 50% commission. So you're looking at about $20, $23 a month commission for that sale. But if you sell a $1,000 product and you get 50%, then you get $500 for the sale. And this happens to be sort of a mid-ticket item, so it takes less sales for me to break the 1,000 mark, opposed to doing a bunch of smaller sales. And that was sort of a learning. That was like, aha. And what's funny is I actually don't recommend the product. My title is Product Review, Why I Quit It in 3 months. Like, I'm basically telling people my journey. Affiliate, this is why, and they still freaking buy it. And that's in the training that I noticed in Wealthy Affiliate. I was like, what? But what's interesting I've noticed is with the technology and the training is the done for you model. People are like grabbing onto that because it seems a lot easier. Meaning that instead of just learning how to do everything yourself, like you get pre-created niches to pick from, you get pre-created content. They try to do the work for you. And I didn't find success in that personally. I was like, this is terrible. Like, I still have to do the work, but you sold me this concept that I can only do 20% of the work. You've done 80%. It's like, no, it's like the other way around, So for half the cost, I can go somewhere else and do the exact same thing and have better success to it. So it's kind of funny how it sort of, I lucked up in that position, but I can tell you SEO works if you get all those elements right. Definitely study your competition. So it happened to be a low competition keyword. Nobody was really targeting it. I think at the time, about 1.5 years ago, I was getting like 300 monthly visits. That particular keyword was getting about 300 monthly now, with me included. Now I'm on page 1. So you have to sort of be like determined to find keywords that are just not tapped into. And I can hear people's minds, oh, how do you find that? Those don't exist. Like, everything's too competitive. The reality is we all search for different things different ways. We use different keywords, we use different terms. And so you can take one product and you could probably find 10 very good variations of it that you could potentially rank for. And that's I did that. Like, I didn't do the main product name. I did the sub product name, and then why I quit it in 3 months. I put a receipt up there proving that I had purchased the product, which is also something that people sort of balk on. When you're an affiliate marketer, do you have to buy everything that you review? Not necessarily, and I do that too. I'm doing that now. I can't buy every training product. I happen to buy this one, and I just noticed with the way I positioned the headline, way I positioned the receipt, it's about 8,000 words. People read that freaking post. They take the time. I was very, very thorough with it because I had used it. I've just found that those sort of ingredients of not doing what everybody else is doing as far as the review, really breaking it down into more chunkable, like really detailed. And I happen to be a detailed person coming from a design. You probably know that too. When you design, pixel perfect, everything's aligned. So I happen to be very detailed. It was just like a bunch of those ingredients worked for that one post. And so the reality is that's my best post yet. Now I'm trying to recreate it, and I'm in the same boat trying to find less competitive keywords for the same product. And I naturally write long posts. Now, one thing I have done is I've hired a writer. I had to do that because I think with your particular website, you have almost 400 posts. I was like amazed when I heard that number. I was like, holy cow, that's a lot. I have 40 posts. And so, like, if you think about
Oh,
it,
but
that's
that's
not a lot
still
of progress
that's awesome that you
for,
got that result from that one post. And you have 40 posts.
yes. So I figured out that my, I don't know what your average post is, but mine, my average post for the reviews, that particular one is almost 8,000 words. I typically run 3,000 to 5,000 words for a product review. It's just because I'm really detailed and I really break it down. Some tips are, don't just list what the product does, list what's unique about it. And you'll start noticing what's unique about the product when you start comparing them. So for me, I've been doing a comparison of a lot of affiliate marketing training products. I'm starting to notice what's unique about them. I put that in there. And if you read a lot of the reviews, they just basically copy the sales page and just put it in their own words. There's nothing of interest to me in addition to, like, there's nothing additional that you gave me as far as value. We talked about that a little bit. You didn't give me anything additional. I could get this information on the sales page. But if you really take the time to break it down and say, okay, this is what's unique about it. Webinars are hot right now. This is why, and like why this product is actually worth considering, because it gives you a webinar tool, allows you a different way to promote your affiliate products, yada, yada, yada. If you take a little bit more time, I've noticed that the people who read my reviews, they stay on my page a long time because they're long, but they're very thorough. And that's worked for me. So when I say 40 posts, I probably have equivalent about 80 posts on there because my reviews are so long, which Google is really liking. Google definitely tends to give me favor when I hit the keyword right, and then I hit the long form content.
Yeah. I think also when writing reviews, I try to understand what the audience might be looking for and what might be their buying motives when they are looking at the specific product that I'm reviewing, to see if this product would address those buying motives. So like, I guess, for example, if it was like a treadmill or something like that, then I would try to read about that audience that's buying the treadmill so I can understand what their buying motives might be. Are they looking for a quick way to exercise and lose weight? Or are they looking for a sustainable, like, what are the keywords they are actually looking for? And does this treadmill achieve that goal? So when I write the review, I can really be clear about who this might work for and who this might not work for. So I think that you gave some really
Absolutely.
good
And that's a
tips.
really good point.
Yeah, I think you gave some really good tips about long form content. That's also worked for me, and chunking things down. So do you use a lot of headings and different headings to split the review up?
Subheadings. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you said that you tend to write very relevant reviews for affiliate marketing informants. So you're focused in now on affiliate marketing training courses, and and this review, because it was very thorough and because you actually got to try out the product and you included so much detail, then that's what really made it take off for you. So that's really cool. And I hope that those of you watching, if you're looking to create a review that generates thousands like what Kim has experienced, then you want to be mindful of all of the details that she just mentioned. Also, the low competition, high search volume keyword. Um, yeah, so you want a topic that's in high demand, even if you don't necessarily see the like if you aren't using a keyword tool, you still want to be able to validate in some way that there's a high demand and a low amount of competition for that keyword. So I think you gave some great tips. And do you have any other tips for us about how to create content that might be able to generate over and over? I know you're still experimenting with it a little bit yourself, but what would you say might be another ingredient we didn't talk about before?
Eventually, if you listen to everyone that Tiffany has interviewed before and everyone that I've interviewed or have read about, they all say some cases it took people 4 years, some people it took them 10 years to get the breakthrough. Just keep at it.
Persistent.
That's what paid off for me. You know what I mean? Just think if I had quit after that one post, I would be sitting here a year later, and that post would probably be making money, and I'd be like, wait, and then I would have lost a year of momentum on the website. Um, so the one thing is, well, where do I get these ideas? Like, how do I find keywords to target? Because initially, sometimes when we pick a product and we put product name review and you put that in a keyword tool, whatever you use, it's going to be high volume, it's probably going to have a lot of competition to it. How do I find other keywords to target? Keyword tool helps. Another thing I like to use is answerthepublic.com. If you actually, it's a free site, just go to it, put in a couple words of the topic that you're thinking about, writing about, or just even learning about it. And it actually spits out, I think it's like 100 different questions. It's very similar to what Google does when it says questions like the search word, or people also ask. It gives you about 100 different ideas of keywords, a really good sort of idea generator, and it's completely free. And so that's one thing I've been doing, is I've really been exploring sort of that to give me different ideas of additional keywords that I could target around the topic that aren't so competitive. I use, people also ask all the time, so I put in my keywords in Google and I just click on the questions people also ask. And you actually get a lot of different categories. It's one way to discover sort of new topics. Keep at it. Like, I can tell you they exist. We do one search, it's too competitive, it's never going to happen. They actually exist. You just keep plugging away. Don't forget to something product review. Another thing I've noticed is less competitive. What is the product review? I've actually noticed people are searching for that particular variation of product review. What is the product review? And it's less competitive. So I've started to go after those as well. And so that's fairly new. We'll see how that works out. But if you hear what I'm saying, is like, I don't have all the answers. It's not perfect. I'm just keep trying. And I know that it's eventually all it takes is to have 10 posts like this one post, and then I could be raking in $10,000 a month. Like, if in the big scheme of things, that's not a lot. Like, I'm having to do a lot because I'm still learning and figuring it out. But the reality is that one post is like, oh, I just need to duplicate that 9 more times. And so that's been my strategy. It's going to take a little to basically reviewing more affiliate marketing training courses like I talked, and then packaging that up in some sort of unique way on my website. So that's where I'm at right now, seeing how I can continue to duplicate that one post.
Yeah, Well, I think that's good advice. Another thing I do to get product or to get any type of post ideas is networking with people in the niche, because a lot of times you'll find that just by networking with them, they might ask you a question: have you heard of this product, or have you heard of this? And you might not have realized that that would be relevant for your audience, but then just by way of networking with them, you realize, well, that makes sense, because if they are affiliate marketers, in addition to courses, they might also be interested in link tracking software, or they might also be interested in WordPress themes, or they might also be interested in plugins that could help them do better with affiliate marketing. And it helps to really build out the value of your website when you can help them complete the goals that they're on and help them fulfill the journey that they're on. So I think that you've given a lot of great things to think about. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your success with the post and what you did to get that success. And if other people want to learn more about you or learn more about your site or see what projects you're working on, where can they find you?
Have me, Tiffany. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed just sort of having the general conversation with you. So if you want more information, you can go to my website at affiliatemarketinginformant.com. If you go to the contact page, my email is on there. It's kim@affiliatemarketinginformant.com. I did that instead of a contact form because I wanted to remove barriers. If you have any questions, I wanted to make it easy for you to reach out to me. My about page will sort of take you through the story of some of the story that I shared with you today, so you can learn more about me. And then in the future, I plan on adding like some additional freebies on there. Right now, I've been really focused on the SEO content. So take a look at my website. Let me know what you think. I welcome feedback. If there's something that doesn't make sense or something not working, or if you just have a general question, please just feel free to reach out to me. My email is on the website. So thank you.
Awesome. So definitely check out Kim at Affiliate Marketing Informant. I think over the course of the interview, you've gotten to see that she's very knowledgeable, and she's definitely experimenting to see what makes this industry tick and what makes it work. And she wants to be able to offer more advice to those of you who are interested in affiliate marketing and want to grow as affiliate marketers as well. So definitely stop by Affiliate Marketing Informant and check her out. So that's all I have for this interview. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like this, or product and service reviews, buyer's guides, or growth strategies to start or grow your business, then definitely stop by hotentrepreneur.com or subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you can be notified of upcoming videos. That's all I have for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.